Hello and welcome to another episode of Narrated Rolling, where I roll with my friends Jason and Gosha in their basement dojo. In today's episode, I wanted to highlight a little thing that I do. I didn't realize how often I did it, but just looking at the footage, I realized I use it for almost every time I want to sweep from guard, or indeed every time I want to retain my guard, and I use it for a whole ton of other positions as well. And that's simply of trying to get my feet and shins and my instep in between my opponent's legs. And in some cases, in a formal technique, you would call them butterfly hooks, and in other ways you could call them, say, shin to shin guard. But at the end of the day, all I'm thinking of in my head is to get my feet in between my opponent's feet and try and do something from there, usually a sweep or just blocking or just trying to get my guard back. So in these roles, I just want to show you a few examples of how I use them and how effective they are in some cases, and probably not quite as effective in others, but I'll leave you to have a look. We'll start off with a roll with Gosha, and here, the moment I pull guard, I'm trying to insert my feet in between hers. So there you go, there's one hook, and that sort of forms kind of a loose hook around about here. And I actually just pushing her around, and now this foot here, my right instep, is making a little contact here. I am going to do something with that a little bit later on, but at the moment she's crushing it, putting her weight on there, which is a good thing from Gosha, just establishing her weight. Put my foot on her hip just to keep a little distance, but I'm really committed to grabbing that knee line and that collar, which gives me that rotation that I want for the sweep. So she steps out, I step back in again, and here we go, we lift and turn. So this is quite a nice little sweep. It's if I was teaching a kicks class, I would call this, imagine this like turning the wheels of a bus. So this arm, my left arm, would pull down here. My right arm, my right grip here would rotate up, and this same action is assisted by the hook that I have here, elevating her leg, and my left leg is simply just keeping distance. So imagine you're steering the wheels of a bus, and we're just going round in this big round circle here. Yeah, I keep hold of that hook, take the leg back, and push forward, and establish side control. So that was a really nice example of how to use a hook for a sweep. We'll move on to a round that I have with Jason, around the 6-41, which is quite a nice little sequence here. There we go, we'll start at the beginning here. So, there we go. So in this round, I start off pretty badly actually. Jason's in this position here, and what I'm doing here from this sort of defensive posture, I'm trying to get my shin in to his leg here. There we go, and I regard. So we'll just go back there again so we can have a look at what happens there. So you can't quite see the details, but when I'm posturing in this defensive side control posture, I've got my left leg hooked underneath his hamstring here, which is just annoying for Jason, but he doesn't feel under threat because there's no way I can sweep him from this position as I am. But as he takes the weight off me, I am able to rotate my body, and as I rotate my body to face him, I can lift my leg up, which lifts his leg up. And basically the aim of that is to give me a little bit of space, and when I have space I can regain my guard. So here we go, pause, I lift, and there we go, and I regain my guard here. So that was a nice little interesting little snippet there. We'll move on to another example where I'm using my hooks. We'll go to 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes. Where are we? So this is a round with Gosha and I. So we'll just put it here. So a little bit of grip fighting, stand up. There, and I pull guard. Nothing remarkable there. So once I pull guard, I notice that her leg is quite close to me. She hasn't steered herself away from me. That's definitely good for me, but if I was in Gosha's situation here, I wouldn't put my leg here within easy reach. Because I'm not really controlling her upper body, I've got my left hand gripping her collar, but there's nothing to stop Gosha from stepping away from me until I get this hook, which is an important part of what I want to do. So I grab, and that's an interesting little thing. So what I was trying to do with this, we'll just go back a bit. what I was trying to do with this particular little sequence there is just a what they call a tripod sweep. So you can see if I withdraw my right foot backwards and I push with my left foot on her hip, I potentially could get a sweep. Now most people are quite attuned to that and they will balance themselves so you can't get the sweep. In which case the plan B for this one is to release this leg and do a back swing here for what they call a sickle sweep. I'll double check the naming of those, but I'm fairly sure that those are the right words to describe those two types of sweep. So you get two for the price of one. There we go. There we go. I sweep backwards. Sweep. So that was quite a nice example of using hooks as preparation for sweeping. I think a little bit more comes up here. So carry on playing some open guards. Get a de la Riva, deep de la Riva. We sweep up. There's the little lift. So again, it's not so much the deep de la Riva, which in itself, if you think of it, is a hook. I'm using my legs as hooks, but on the outside. But today I really want to focus on what I'm doing on the inside of her legs. So once I get the sweep here, there, as Gosha falls down, I'm worried about this leg here, her leg here. So I use my right leg to hook underneath and lift up. So I continue the elevation process, which makes it very awkward for her to get back up. Here we go, I insert the leg, there, I lift up, which gives me a little bit of time to take knee or belly. So that was a nice little roll, nice example of some hooks there. I'm going to carry on to another roll. Let's have a look, 16-24. I think this is with Jason now, so I'm rolling with my next roll. There we go. So we might as well show all of this because it's quite a good roll, this one. So already Jason is establishing grip control. He's got the lapel grip here, and he's got the collar grip here. Now with this grip, now actually we'll rewind a little bit back because I want to see from the beginning, from the stand up. If you notice from the stand up, Jason has collar control, which keeps me at a distance, and he's got lapel control here. Now if he were to pull guard, he would then use this lapel for a Keenan Cornelius style worm guard or various other leg entanglement type or gi entanglement guard play. But in this case I pull guard, and that means he can still use the lapel to help pass the guard. He can wrap this underneath my legs, pass it to his other hand, and get passing position. Now I'm aware of this, and I want to make sure that it's difficult for him. So I use my inside hooks. See, I'm fighting for the inside hooks here to make it a little bit awkward. He's holding my left foot down, so he's aware that my hooks are troublesome for him. So now I'm resorting to basically collar and sleeve grip with a foot on the bicep. It's not spider guard because I'm not holding his sleeve here. I'm just using this to fend him off, which is actually quite easy for him to get rid of, but it's still problematic for him. Go, I'm just waiting for the use of my legs for an inside hook there. Get my feet on the inside. Now he's pulled them down. I want to get them in between his legs and be a nuisance with my hooks. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't necessarily have an objective in my mind, but I know that if I can get my hooks in between his legs, they are a nuisance to him, and then maybe a sweep will come out of it. So continuing to fight from here, keeping him at distance with my feet. Oh, I spot a chance for a loop choke. Normally Jason defends this very well. He turns away, so what I do is I twist my entire body into the choke, which gets the tap. That was quite nice. Let's see what else happens. He pulls guard, and I'm fighting for top control. So no more inside hooks there. We're going to look at a couple more rolls where I use more inside hooks, and that will be a nice example. So we've moved on to this is a roll with Gosha. And I immediately pull seated guard here, and I've got a lapel. And this is a nice sequence. I want to get some sort of seated guard sweep, shin to shin sweep, sorry. So it's imperative I get my shins on the inside. You can see Gosha is sort of aware that my feet are going to present a problem for her, so she pushes it down and steps to the outside, which gives me the inside position. She's suddenly aware that, oh, here we go, sweep. Yeah, okay, so we'll rewind that, mate. So that wasn't quite explained that properly. So here I've got the lapel grip, and what I'm going to do is I feed that around the primary leg that I'm going to attack. At the same time, I want to take my left shin and take it inside, but making contact with her shin there. So we'll see that step by step. There goes the inside shin around her leg. Next comes the gi lapel wrap around her leg. Sit up, feed it to the other hand. Now all I have to do is literally drop to one shoulder. By dropping to one shoulder, I have more power to elevate her foot up. If I just try and do it from this seated position, I'm not really going to be able to do it. She's too strong, there's too much gravity helping her. But by leaning my body this way, I can elevate my leg. There goes the elevation. And her leg's not going to get away from me because remember I've got her gi lapel wrapped around, which ties her shin to my shin. There we go, elevate. You can see me still grabbing onto the gi lapel here. Lifting up, and I'm not going to let go until I'm satisfied with the guard pulse. So that's a sequence where I've got a successful sweep, and in order to make it successful I had to get those inside shin to shin stroke butterfly hooks in place. Then we'll move on to something slightly off topic here. I wanted to show some grilled chicken. You may not have heard grilled chicken, but if you follow the work of Preet Mikkelsen, he calls this the grilled chicken. So here I am in open guard here, not making contact. I feel I'm pushed onto my back, and that's the grilled chicken. So the grilled chicken is the soles of your feet facing your opponent. You're keeping your knees tucked in really super tight, and my hip is elevated as much as I can, and my elbows are kind of tucked in here. I'm not waving my arms around. Alright, now there are various options of what to do should your opponent push you, but in this case Jason's just trying to grab my ankles and do something with them, so I'm just going to use a really basic shin circle to ungrip his hands and then search for the inside hooks. So there we go, shin circling, here goes the inside hook. Now watch this little funny sequence, a little bit of dancing, butterfly guard here, I'm searching for those inside hooks again. Jason's kind of aware, so there's a little bit of footwork. He wants past, and there we go, a little lift there, that was kind of cheeky. We'll watch that again. So observe what I'm doing. I'm always trying to get the inside hooks there with this butterfly. I need the inside, and I lift up. This elevation doesn't really do anything to Jason, but it just serves the purpose of distance management, so I know where I am with Jason, and also it's just a little bit annoying to him because he knows that if he rushes in, as long as I get the inside leg position, I can get a sweep or some sort of defensive posture where he's not really effective. There we go, a little bit of eye-to-eye contact there. I'm not really giving away what I'm doing. I'm not looking down at his feet. Here's my inside hook. Now this is interesting. I've got what I wanted. I've got both my inside hooks in, plus I'm using my shin, and I'm elevating my hips very high as a defensive posture. I'm trying to keep my torso. I'm not quite there. You see, I'm quite bent here. I'm trying to keep my torso in line with his hip angle here, and this is a very safe defensive posture. Jason can neither squash me and push down, nor can he escape because I've got this ankle grip here. So what transpires is that we're in a sort of a stalemate here. Jason's trying to push down, but I'm not really worried by any collar choke. But neither can I sweep him because he's got his balance quite nicely done. There are various options we could try from here, but at the moment I was just playing around to see how defensive I could get with these inside hooks. He's pushing down, which is good, that's what he wants to do, but I still have the inside. So once he's pushed down my knee and pinned it to the ground, that's good thinking from Jason, I've still got this inside hook here, and I've also got another hook on the inside, which hopefully will serve me well. Let's have a look, see what happens. Bit of a stalemate, defensive stalemate. He's pinning my leg to the ground, which now it's getting annoying for me. I want to free that leg, so I'm freeing the leg. Get the inside butterfly hook, sitting upright. There. Now that was an interesting little bit. What I should have done, I just spotted a mistake from. So as I sit upright, here, you see I base my hand on the ground, and my right leg is free. It's now free. What I should have done is put the foot on the floor for a technical stand-up, and this gives me the power and the propulsion to push Jason back. That's what I should have done. I didn't do that. I kind of tried to re-guard there, which wasn't very effective, and then everything from there on fell apart. So I was lucky there. Jason could have done a lot to counter me, but I'm back to playing open guard, and he stands up. Let's see what else happens. Yeah, a bit of a guard, passing guard player stalemate here. Not really using my inside hooks. There's an inside hook. Maybe I can do something with this. 2 inside hooks. Taking it out, back in again. Pummeling is very much a part of this shin game. Yeah, I'm still putting my hooks in, just being annoying. Here's a good sequence that's coming up. Now, what you're seeing coming up from Jason is a nice little bit of work from him. He's going to neutralize my legs. Even though I've got the inside hooks, he's going to neutralize my legs, having learnt perhaps from a few seconds earlier about what I'm doing, and I'm very inactive. He's going to neutralize my legs, and then he's going to switch sides, switch angles. So he steps in, and then watch what he does with his right shin here. Once he's happy, so his shin is facing me, and then he swips over. And this is what we call a folding pass, where he's completely taken out all my defensive frames and postures and insteps. So now he's attacking my turtle because I've got no choice, I've just got to turtle. It's a great move from Jason. Just before we leave it, I'm going to show you, we're going to continue this roll because it's not the end for me. I am still very committed to try and get a hook in and try and save myself by regarding. At the moment, my turtle is fairly robust, but I'm not really scoring points. I'm not doing anything. I'm down if you like. So what I'm going to try and do next is recover guard from turtle, and that relies on getting the inside hook. I'm just going to forward wind it, see what happened. There, so it's here. So as I fall to one side, perhaps happy to let Jason crush me or thinking that he's going to pass my guard, I believe it's this foot, my left foot, is going to insert underneath his hamstring and elevate. Oh no, it's my correction, it's my right foot. You can see what I've done there. I've elevated underneath his leg to lift up, and from there it creates space, and with space I have freedom to replace my guard. There we go, still working the guard, and unfortunately time ran out, so we didn't quite see the conclusion of that, but I felt confident that I was going to retain guard if I continued with that maneuver. Anyway, lots of examples of using the inside hooks, or how I use the inside hooks, not only for defense but also for attack. In some cases they led to not quite a satisfying conclusion, a bit of a stalemate, but in a lot of cases I was able to get a successful sweep out of it, so hopefully that's interesting for you to watch. Certainly interesting for me. I can learn and I can spot the mistakes that I made and improve on those. So that's really the purpose of these videos. It's really for me to learn, but hopefully if you get something out of it, then great stuff. Anyway, hope to see you soon. More rolling footage soon, and check by for more videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye.